Hi, welcome to ATHENASIA. I'm Laurent Timmermans, and in this video we'll be discussing 10 reasons to incorporate your business in Hong Kong. So a few days ago I did a video on 5 reasons why you shouldn't open your company in Hong Kong. And it was hugely successful, but some people actually asked me, why are you doing that? It's your business to open company. You're telling people not to open a company. So it was the whole grand plan that I was planning to come up with these videos eventually. So here today, I will explain you why you should open your company with 10 reasons. So reason number 1, credibility. Hong Kong is a true business city. It is the number 3 financial center in the world, behind New York and London, and just in front of Singapore. Okay, so when people come to me and ask me, hey Laurent, could you compare Hong Kong to the BVI, to Cayman Island, to Seychelles? I'm like, yeah, well, I could, but it's not really fair for Hong Kong, because you are basically comparing a true business city to a sandy beach. It's not really what we are doing here. If you want to compare Hong Kong, you should compare Hong Kong to Switzerland, first, if you look at financial center, maybe compare to New York, compared to London. If now you want to look for financial center with lower tax rate, maybe Singapore, maybe Switzerland, that will be more fair, more accurate. So first reason for Hong Kong, credibility. Second reason to incorporate your business in Hong Kong is connectedness. So Hong Kong is in the middle of Asia. In 5 hours, you can get anywhere around Asia. Inside Hong Kong, we have great infrastructure, we have great roads, public transportation, the MTR is fantastic, taxi is cheap. That's all the goodies. But what is really interesting is that if you look at Hong Kong, we have a huge international airport with a third runway being built at the moment. We are connected to the Chinese railway, so you can get easy access to many different cities in China. In 1 hour, you get in Shenzhen. In 1 hour nowadays, also because of the express train, you can get to Guangzhou and go to the Canton Fair. So it's really connected. We have international port as well. So it is a city that really have infrastructure. I'm not even talking about the Zhuhai Bridge yet, which is a marvel of architecture. Now, does it have any impact on Hong Kong? I'm not totally sure, but yeah, that's good too, Third reason, and some people are not going to be happy about that one, they won't agree, so I'm waiting for the backlash in the comment, but I would say it's banking. Okay, so I know since 2016 it has been difficult to open bank account in Hong Kong, because Hong Kong was one of the first territory to actually implement anti-money laundering, counter-terrorism financing rules, and was already anticipating the automatic exchange of information of the OECD, and as well integrated the FATCA. So all that at the same time on the bank was a lot of pressure. But the truth with banking in Hong Kong is that it is still good to bank in Hong Kong, either through a traditional bank or through a virtual bank. Okay, so there's still ways now to get accounts and to actually bank from Hong Kong. Hong Kong will connect to all the major payment gateways such as Stripe, PayPal, to Checkout, Braintree, so you can connect to your Hong Kong account and you can start to run your business from Hong Kong. Okay, so try to do that with a Belize company. We were talking about the island before. It's another story. So in Hong Kong, you have a proper banking with protected deposit as well. So, and you can also bank with China in RMB, which is also quite a unique feature. The fourth reason, ease of doing business with China. So as I mentioned before, that you can get to China in just 1 hour, to Shenzhen, to Guangzhou, and start to do business in there. But the other thing also is that China is quite complicated in terms of regulations, of compliance, of how to have your company. There's different rules in different regions and provinces. The tax rate is quite high. The employment law might be quite complicated. So it's not that easy to actually do business in China. With Hong Kong, you have an effective vehicle to get access to China and do business with Chinese companies. Plus, many Chinese companies, many Chinese manufacturers will actually have Hong Kong companies to deal with the rest of the world. So actually you can just make payment from a Hong Kong company to Hong Kong company really often. So this is a good reason to also establish yourself in Hong Kong. 5, the ease of doing business in general. So I know about doing business in China, but also in general, it's quite easy to do business in Hong Kong. You can open a company in just a few hours. I would generally tell my clients 2 days, but actually in a few hours you can open a company. You only need one shareholder, one director. They can be the same person and they don't even have to be in Hong Kong. You don't need a local director. Your share capital is only $1 Hong Kong. In terms of maintenance, pretty easy, plus you have a company secretary to help you, so you don't have to learn the whole thing. You just pay a few bucks a year and the ComSec will do everything for you. Accountingly speaking, there is like thousands of accountant company secretary in Hong Kong. So there is really a healthy competition here, and you can find a decent accounting rate for your business that fit your budget. 6, the Chinese 6 if you prefer. Okay, so 6 rules of law. Hong Kong has rule of law, which means that you can protect your IP in Hong Kong and your commercial interests. If you have any issue with clients, suppliers, whatever, you have a good court system where you can actually sue the people and you can defend your case. 7, low corporate tax. So the standard tax rate in Hong Kong is 16.5%, but on your first 2 million, so 2 million Hong Kong dollars profit, you will be taxed at 8.25%. As I said, it's profit, not turnover. So on 8.25% profit. Okay, so after deducting all your expenses, you'll pay 8.25% on your first 2 million, and on the rest you'll pay 16.5%. So it's fairly attractive. There's no tax on the dividend either. Now, if you don't live in Hong Kong, you will most likely have to pay dividend tax in your country of residence, unless you have a good tax residency. 8, no VAT, no GST. So there's no VAT tax in Hong Kong, no indirect tax in general, so no value-added tax. If people want to compare, as I said before, Hong Kong to Singapore, for example, has GST, so you have to pay GST in Singapore. Now, what happens if you want to deal with Europe? Well, there are some companies, some expert companies that will actually advise you on the VAT in Europe, and they allow you to have VAT number from Hong Kong with a Hong Kong company so that you can pay your dues in Europe. 9, low personal tax. So we mentioned low corporate tax, no dividend tax, no VAT, no GST. And now when we look at individuals, if you are a Hong Kong resident and you pay your tax in Hong Kong, we also have a low tax from 0 to 15%, depending on how much you are receiving in salary or director fees. So it's pretty attractive as well, and worth considering if you are a Hong Kong resident. Plus, as a director, you can, accountingly speaking, you can ask for director quota and reduce your taxable income even further. So there's a lot of interesting mechanism that you can put in place if you set up your company in Hong Kong and become resident of Hong Kong, or if you're already a resident of Hong Kong. 10, qualified staff and relatively low cost of labor. So, qualified staff. According to the Hong Kong Education Bureau, in 2018, Hong Kong people are qualified with 25.4% of the population older than 15 years old having achieved a degree, 5.2% having a sub-degree, and 2.5% having a diploma or certificate. From the remaining amount, 49% finished secondary school. So you have a literate manpower in Hong Kong that come from fairly good university as well, because if you look at university, I think it's 2 or 3 of them are ranked in the top 100 in the world. So it's not bad at all. So we have qualified staff in Hong Kong. Now, if you look at the salary in Hong Kong, so it is in no way a cheap country. Let's face it. According to the Hong Kong Census and Statistics Department, in 2018, the median salary was 17,500 Hong Kong dollars. So it's not nothing. It's still a substantial amount of money. But one thing you have to know is that in Hong Kong, that's what you will pay to your staff, to your employee. After, you will pay the tax by himself. So there is not You don't have to keep some money to pay the government as a company like you have in Europe. You only have to pay 5% NPF, so the employer pay 5%, the employee will pay 5% as well. And one really common benefit that most companies will offer is a group insurance. So if you want to be nice to your staff as well, you can also include the group insurance. There's also a staff insurance for your company, but it's really not expensive. It's just a few thousand a year for the whole company. So if you compare that to Europe, for example, where you have to pay 2 to 3 times what the employee will actually receive, in Hong Kong, 17,500. So that means what? That means 50% of the population in Hong Kong earn less than that. Now, obviously, I'm not telling you pay the minimum or anything. You can pay more, you can be nice to your staff, and I think it's something you should do if you can. But the good news is that as an entrepreneur, you don't have like tens of thousands to just throw out of the window from the beginning. So you can actually start small in Hong Kong, and then as you grow, you pay better, you give more benefits, and you become a nicer person. But at least you can do it. You don't need to have deep pocket from the beginning. So that's why Hong Kong has a relatively low cost for labor, but it's still significant. So these were 10 reasons why you should open your business in Hong Kong. And I will put an 11th one just to finish the video. Obviously, if you are a Hong Kong resident, there's no reason to look for other place to open your business. No, that's one of the comments I had on the previous video. Obviously, this is more for an outsider. If you're in Hong Kong, if you're a Hong Kong resident, no matter you're born here or like me, you just arrive a bit later in your life. Yeah, that's the place to open your business. No, there's not much question to ask, Good. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you like it, please put a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, write a nice comment, share to your people, and I see you in the next one.